Hello, everyone. My name is Rafael. I'm the head coach of Alliance Greenville, South Carolina, and black belt third degree under BJF, black belt fifth degree under CBJJE in Brazil. And I'm here with Mini Money, or his first name or his real name, Joseph Snyder. Um, and this year we have many competitions planned, and then we were able to collect some medals from half of them, I would say, especially the majors. And I would like to introduce you guys Mini Money, and then I would like to hear first how he got involved in martial arts, a quick brief on that, and see what he was playing when he started jiu-jitsu, and if he was thinking where that would lead him to go. And let's go from there then, Minnie. So
So how I got started in jujitsu?
yes.
I never wanted to do jujitsu. I was, I started martial arts when I was 8 because my parents said I had to get a black belt in a martial arts just to show that not everything comes easy and I have to work for something. And so we started in like taekwondo, the basic stuff, kickboxing, karate. And so I was just starting to do it. I didn't really care for it until we moved to North Carolina is really when I started to get into it. A lot of my friends were doing it. I was like, okay, yeah, I got to get better at this. I got to catch up to them. And so, about when I was 12 years old, my mom took me early to a class when jujitsu was going on. And it's like, oh, we're here early. And just kind of threw me into the class. And all it took was that one class for me to fall in love with it. Now, I never thought I was going to be here today competing as much as I do, but it's kind of how it happened. But all it took was one class and I was hooked. I went back to her afterwards. I was like, can we add this one, this one, this one? So I went from 10 classes a week to like 17.
Awesome. And what made you decide moving to Greenville? Because I believe you have been in Greenville, what, 2 years in a few months?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so
we're a little over 2 years now.
okay, what made you decide, or your family made you decide, was the reason for you to come to Greenville, South Carolina?
Well, as you know, I competed against Alex a whole bunch. And so when I started competing against him so often, I think it was probably the third competition I competed against Alex. He was just getting better and better. And I noticed I wasn't progressing as fast as he was. And so me and my family knew we kind of had to make a change. It's not that my gym was bad, it was just they didn't really compete as much. They didn't focus on the competition aspect. And so we knew it was time to make a change in my training. So we sold our house and we moved here, came in an RV, and so it was just seeing how fast he was able to progress just really showed all of us that we need to make a change.
100%. I agree with the what you said before. It's not sometimes when you are part of a school or a gym, it's not necessarily they are bad what they're doing, but sometimes not a lot of people with the same goal and mindset towards something. And that happens to me before, like I had corner here a few years ago, and would believe we have a good level here, but at that time, maybe it was not enough competitors the same goal as him, so he was in pursuit of his career towards different place, and he ended up in Atos. And then from then, I always had to build my team, right? Because I don't care big name jiu-jitsu. It's easier for somebody who already accomplished world championship to attract competitors from outside. But because I never do that, I never have done that. I have to pretty much build my athletes from the scratch. And then Alex is one of them. And then you start competing with him, and of course he was a sub product of the goal of making the competition thing happening. So you guys, I would say, of course, everything started back when George was here, and then he had to move to England. So him and Ava, I would say, was the leading of the upcomings as far as the competition at the highest level, right? So I would say George and Ava initiated that. And then George was forced to move away, and then uh, was left, I would say, Avery and Alex as far as the competitive team of Alliance Greenville. And then as they were competing and showing some results, I would say, especially locally, people from outside started to notice their progression. And you were one of them who made a choice to move here. Definitely help strengthen her team to have a group of community of young people who are in pursue the same goal, right? So as far as now, we have many more people in the competition team. You, Alex, Caleb. Caleb's not competing as often, but he's one of them. Ave, Colton, Brenna now. Used to have Ease as well. So we had 6, 7 uh, same mind towards accomplish, competitions, jiu-jitsu, accomplish, going after the first place or going after medal in the majors, So we have all of you guys represented the Alliance Review, and we finally nowadays have a small group, I would say, still, but we are in the building and in the build of that, and I would say takes sometimes one to accomplish a task for everybody to go because I believe you are the one who break through first. You are the first one actually to have a gold medal for the juvenile in our school. The first one to have an adult medal at the major as far as pens and words adult in a blue belt. We never had that in any other belts in adult division. So that's very amazing. And then believe one takes one to break through, I believe we're gonna make it easier for the rest. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you are in a small group, not that Alliance is a small school, but we have a small group of competitors under Alliance with you, right? So when you have a small group, we need one to break through to make everybody else believe that's possible, right? So I think after you accomplish that, hopefully we have a few more who are able to break through and go there. Because I would say one of the hardest things in jiu-jitsu sometimes is not become technical, but it's the mindset to go there and compete. I think the mindset probably, you know, I will put that at 70% and 10% skill. Because sometimes you're gonna have people who are very skilled, but sometimes the mindset is not there, and then they usually don't become successful in the competition as you did. So that was very cool to hear the reasons you came to review. And then I would like for you, of course, we're grateful to have you here, and then we hope we have helped you accomplish those goals. But I believe we are not just the one part of your success. So if you want to mention a few people that you believe was part of your success until you come here, of course, there's us, other structures back in the day, and of course your parents. But if you want to mention one by one and the people you believe was the most important, go ahead, please.
Oh shoot, this list could go on and on. I mean, forever. I mean, first, of course, my mom and dad.
100%.
I physically could not do anything without them. They drove me to the gym every single day, multiple times a day. My mom still prepares meals. I call her my nutritionist. She's so good at it. She's practicing for so long that she can. If I need to lose 10 pounds in 2 months, I'll lose that 10 pounds in 2 months. How she plans it out. I don't do a lot of studying on my own, and that's one of my my dad's favorite thing to do is study all my competitors. And I feel I like to over study and overthink. And so my dad kind of gets the rundown of everybody in my bracket. He can figure out the brackets before they even come out. And he will tell me everybody I'm fighting against. And so just being able to do that is really cool.
100%.
So I know my bracket before it's even posted, like 2 weeks before.
Nice.
So that's just I feel like that's kind of a cheat code too,
100%.
being able to know who I can compete
Yeah.
against. And so he's a very strategy type person. So I feel like he's helped me build my game to be the best at competition,
Awesome.
especially when it came up in belt ranks. When I was a kid's belt, like yellow belt, my dad was like, "Don't pull guard." He's like, "Just learn how to pass it, and then it's like when you start having troubles, then we'll figure things out." So when in competition, I was winning a lot more just because I wouldn't pull guard. I just learned how to pass guard. Right? Even now, like I learned at blue belt, can't do that no more. You have to be able to play both. But I believe a lot of my strategy is because of my father,
That's awesome.
and a lot of my nutrition and my success out in competitions because of my mother
100%.
with the nutrition laws. Plus, I got all my sponsors. I can be more grateful for everyone. Bighorn Athletics, tape company, they're awesome. They always help me. Got bad fingers, so helps out.
100%. Yep.
Heavy handed, I couldn't do anything without those guys. Like he's the best, and the rash guards are awesome, super comfortable. All my old instructors, Jeremy Orell, he was the first person I really went to when I was trying to learn gi for my first ever kids pans, and I feel there, especially at a kid's belt, I just excelled. And then Aaron King, uh, I just learned so much cool stuff from that guy. And I feel like a lot of his stuff is still in my game till this day. I feel like I use a lot of his fun tricks that he showed me. I feel like there's so many more people I could go through, but they're not at the top of my head right now. But
And that's okay because we all have many people that help us. But I would say there is a few who are one of the most important figures, right? The ones who put it much was big part of,
mm,
and then the ones who list probably was big influence and part of. So it's nice to recognize them. And the other ones, they know who they are as well. I don't think they will be upset if you cannot get the top of your head. And I
yeah,
think they know who they are.
I
Uh,
do have to mention one person, my girlfriend. She got mad at me last time for my last podcast. I
I
didn't
see.
mention her, but no, just seeing what she goes through every single day. Like she trains probably 3 times as much as I do, and she's been doing it for so much longer. But she's a big motivation
That's
also.
awesome. Yes, we can touch the base on the little bit. Okay, another thing to me is very important. Probably like I said before, I mentioned before, the most important part is the mindset. So when you go to competition, what are things or a mantra or something that keeps you calm and keeps you ready to, I would say, be in the moment, to be present and perform at the highest level because like again what is one thing to perform outside without pressure is one thing to perform under pressure. In this one we can put a double pressure because the weight cut and the stuff have to go through before your competition, so those are just extra even more than just competing, right? So how do you do that and how did you learn to manage that, and if you do anything to calm yourself and get the best of yourself out there?
I don't think I've really like practiced a mindset, and the more I think about it, every time I compete, the more I realize I do maybe different things than other people would. But I guess I would like to say I would separate jujitsu just from anything in general. I don't prepare myself the day of. I'm like, okay, I have to do this. I have to wake up. I have to eat this certain food. I can't do these things because every day is different. You're not gonna be able to do the same thing over and over again. And every time I feel like when I start a rhythm, it's gonna eventually break and it can mess your brain up. It can mess you up. Anything can happen. And so when I just go out there, I just go out to compete. All the mindset preparation is, of course, what I'm eating, right? Training. If I have a bad mindset, it's because I didn't train hard and I know I didn't. I know the results are going to be different and that's just going to mess me up. I've had times where like I've trained for a competition, but it's like I didn't train enough and I knew I was going to lose. I knew bad things were going to happen. I wasn't going to succeed. But especially recently, this I'd say this whole year was the hardest I've been able to train, especially with all the injuries. And I've been nervous going into it, but I feel like it hasn't affected me. And I can just walk out there and I'm just ready to go. It's a switch, especially with the hard weight cut. I thought it was gonna mess me up more, but just going out there, it's like I went out there and I forgot it all. I'm just in the moment. I don't know how I get there. I don't know really what I do to mentally prepare myself that day. Like I'll listen to music. I just I just enjoy the time is really what it is.
That's awesome.
Every
Is
single
there
day.
any moment that comes any single doubt to your mind, or you don't even not even any negative thought comes in when you're about to compete?
I don't think any negative talk. I don't talk negatively about myself. I always say if. Like I never say when I win. It's always if I win. Because of course, as we saw the last competition, I lost by decision. I mean, I could have probably done something else to win, but there's always an if. It's you can sometimes say when, but not everything is going to happen the way you want it to. You're not going to win the way you want to. So I feel like it's really how you are that day. And I might play this out. Oh, I'm gonna hit a really cool submission. I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah. But it's really what happens in the moment. That's when you're gonna make your decisions, and that's where I guess the mindset comes in. It's just really in the moment.
Interesting. If I have to get anything from what you say, and then if I have to make an interpretation of what you say, I would say probably what makes you confident is knowing that you have a great preparation prior to the
Yeah.
competition. So I believe your self confidence is boost when you know you have done everything you could in your power to be ready for that competition, and then you kind of let it flow through you at the competition without overthinking
Mm,
with the outcome per se.
yeah.
Right. So would you say probably the competition is definitely what gives you confidence to not overanalyze or
Yeah.
do or go beyond that, I guess, because like you say, you're not necessarily doing anything per se to get yourself mentally ready, but you get your confidence from knowing you did the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Another thing I want to mention before we finish it up, and let me be clear with this because I do believe IBJJF is one of the biggest organizations in the sport. Is the one who tries to set a certain standard of level, but they also have a lot of flaws in some aspect of them. And then one of them is the refereeing. Everybody know BGF sometimes lack on being more clear about the rules. And then I would say the rules of cutting the weight is just as part of the rule as well when you do all the check. And we have heard a lot of complaints about not just the ref on the mat is per se judging the athletes, but sometimes on the outside when they're checking gears, some people may pass through the check-in, hold there, the referee tell them to go back because the person who's checking them, they do not do a good job. And then this time happens to me that he check his weight, jump on the scale, and the guy say he never saw him there. And he was so sure about that. And then on my head, like, he doesn't know me personally. He sees more than hundreds of people go walking through there, and then how he can be so sure that, oh, I saw this person, right? So and then times to time he would say, or this guy who was checking would say, oh, I can't remember if I saw him or no. But then now if you cannot remember, that means you don't know. So you know what I mean. So it was a very hard thing, and then it's hard because is kind of one person on the organization making the mistake under the organization, right? Because it's the same thing if, sometimes that could happen. Alliance is one team and one person from Alliance go there is something bad, and this person now takes the frame of that, right? So I do believe ABGF has good intentions, but maybe they lack of making sure the rules are clear to everybody who's working the staff.
Mm,
And I think if there's something to change is that because it's already run or by Brazilians. I'm not sure if the BDGF has sold that yet or not. So, but it's run from a lot of Brazilians. And one thing I feel like Americans criticize the BDGF because it does feel like sometimes they pull more towards one side, and that can be really terrible for the sport, especially for us who are Brazilian instructor teaching in American soil here and having our students who are American going towards this competition sometimes have to face those struggles under an organization who's supposed to be one of the best, lacking of on those things can be very harmful because stress the parents, stress the competitors, and there's other organizations there, and then make us think if you are doing the right thing by competing under a place where sometimes lack of being more strict towards what they settle to be the rules, right? What do you take there? I mean, what do something you have to say that you dislike, and then you'd say you are unhappy with the organization because that was pretty sad what they did too.
it was it it was weird for such a. I would say they're probably one of the best running competitions I've been to. They're always on time. They have great bullpens. Like you just get in, it flows really well. But for something like what happened to me, where he checked my weight, they checked my fingernails, like they checked all my equipment for three officials not to know I even walked in is crazy to me. I don't know how that happened. I even had competitors, people from the outside see me and try to tell them that I walked in, and they still didn't care. And if I wasn't cutting weight, if I was under, it wouldn't been a big deal. But it's like since I was cutting so much going in, it was just like, dude, I just can't believe that happened. But especially watching. a lot of people. I see a lot of people get away with murder from IBJJF, and I hate to say it, you can be a certain gym affiliation. I feel like they do their best to be as fair as possible, but I still feel like some people take it their power a little bit further because they have no repercussions to themselves.
100%. And I agree with that. So uh, I would hope a BJF would listen more to their competitors, their athletes, and the people who are part of. Because if you guys want to really stay strong in the West, you guys have to make sure you work with everyone. Um, and that would be my message for BJF if I would have to say, right. So that would be my take in there. Meaning once again, congratulations to your accomplishment this year. We compete the majors, I would say, in the gi and no gi, and you were successful this year. I would say no gi, you won pens, no gi, third place, the words, losing by referee decision, and between us, of course, as hard ones go, tie. But in my opinion, you won the match. Of course, I could be biased because I'm an instructor. But the way I saw you're much more active and try more things to beat him than he did on you. Um, but it is what it is. The results are in the past. Not we can do to change. So still also an accomplishment. And what is the expectation for next year? Uh, and then you have the same goals, or you're going to shift a little bit to different thing?
I don't know. IBJJF upset me. They upset me a lot this last competition from what they did to me. But I still think I'm going to at least do all the majors for IBJJF next year. Uh, Test it out in the gi again. I'm gonna go to rooster weight for all the majors. So this year for gi, I did light feather, which is 141 pounds, which is not my size at all. And I feel like I found a lot more success at rooster weight fighting people closer to my size. And so we'll see how it goes. I know rooster weight's definitely it's my bracket. I'm only have to cut like 2 to 3 pounds of water weight to get down to rooster weight. So we'll see how the gi goes this year or this next year. But I'm excited for Nogi again
Awesome,
because I
awesome.
wanna redeem myself here.
Awesome to hear. So, congrats again on a very successful year. It's an honor to be part of your journey as an instructor, and can't wait to see what else you're going to accomplish in the art. And then my word for you is just I hope you can keep going. Of course, as many things can happen through the years, but if you stick, I have no doubt that you're going to be one of the best competitors on your division. Appreciate it, man.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so much.
Alpha.
It was awesome.